chat. Please keep them coming. We will take all questions after this as well. And I have with me Akshaya Bhargava, our founder and chairman, and I have with me Sarthak, our product head, and we're all geared up to talk to you today. So thank you again for joining us. Akshay, over to you.
Thank you, Shruti. Thank you so much, and welcome everyone. As always, it is really, really nice to see some familiar names on the list. So welcome back to those of you. Today's subject is understanding signals, and we thought a lot about it. What should today's subject be? And I feel every once in a while, it is good to go back to basics. And so this is a back to basics session. If some of you have seen some of our earlier webinars, you'd find a little element of repetition, but you know what? Repetition never hurts, because we're highlighting some really important things. So just hearing it again is not such a bad thing. Before I do that, as always, I want to ask my 2 or 3 questions. One is about your age profile. So, Prabal, would you mind putting up the question on the screen for everybody to click? Again, you don't have to answer. We're not asking your exact age. We're just asking which age category you fit in. It is very helpful to me knowing what kind of audience we have. And after this, we will ask you your investment experience. And that, again, helps me tailor some of my commentary.
It's up. Can you see it, Akshay?
Yeah, I can see it. So this is really, it's good. We are seeing a much more even distribution. So 50 plus is 21%. Thank you, 50 plus. I am part of your group. 40 to 50 is 25%. 30 to 40 is 28%. 25 to 30, 14, and 20 to 25, 16%. That is a really, really good distribution. Thank you. Prabal, would you put up the next question on investment experience? Yeah, just click in whatever category you fall in. And that is now telling me that 3+ years is 48%. So half the people are pretty experienced investors, but 0 to 1 year is not small, it's 38%. So there's quite a significant chunk of people who are, relatively speaking, new to investing. Okay, thank you, Prabal. We can take the poll off. So like I said, today's subject is understanding the signals. But before we start, I want to talk about a few new things which we will talk about a little later. One is there is a new program that we have introduced, cashback on introduction, so you can actually make money as a subscriber of InvestorAi. Secondly, we have launched a new homepage, which I will show you, and show you some of the new features and things that are there and why we put them in. There's a new active monitoring page with profit and loss alerts. This is something that so many people have asked us. I'm delighted to say that we have finally brought it back in. Not brought it back in, brought it in. It wasn't there ever. And finally, there's a new notifications page, and which I will show you these 2 or 3 things. We also have with us Apurv Pandey, one of our users, and I will invite him to speak for just 5 minutes about his experience. Because, some people said that, why do we invite other people? Now, the answer is really, I don't know everything. I know lots of things, but not everything. And it is always useful to hear from other people, because everybody comes with a slightly different perspective. And, investing is about learning. So, but before I invite Apurv, let me just go back to just a reminder, because there are some of you are part of the community and on our WhatsApp forums, and there's been a raging debate on some issues or the other. And I just wanted to remind everybody that the real superpower that all of us have, it's a universal superpower, is you and AI and time. And you is about knowledge and discipline. And I cannot emphasize how important knowledge and discipline are. They are essential to investing. If you don't know what you're investing in, Please, for heaven's sake, do not invest. Okay. AI is about InvestorAi, where we give you the ability to improve your batting average. But like I said, your batting average cannot improve if you don't know how to hold a bat. That is where you comes in. You have to learn. You have to have some basic knowledge and discipline. And T is about doing it all the time. Just doing it consistently over time, and that gives you so much power about investing. You have to develop good investment habits, and this is an old slide, but I like it, so I'm showing it again. These are not difficult habits. Please read as much as you can and talk to as many people as you can. Some will be foolish. Some will say, what an idiot. But every once in a while, you'll come across somebody who will say, wow, he said something really interesting, which I should remember. Secondly, understand how market information is presented, because for some reason, market information is never presented in easy to understand way. All you have to do is look at money control and places like that, and it says there's good information, but it is so much. Then be curious. Keep asking yourself, why is something happening? Try and make the link between cause and effect, because once you make that link, that is what gives you understanding. Next, form your own view of the market income. Never mind what an analyst is saying. Never mind even what InvestorAi is saying. You have to form your own view. ये अच्छी company है या नहीं है? That very simple question you have to answer for yourself without depending on other people. If you can't answer, please stay out. Stay away from it. And then once you have that little understanding, find the best ideas you can find. And look at sources, look at money control, look at stock edge, look at all the good information sites in India. And and that is where InvestorAi really comes into its own, because while everybody else is telling you what has happened, we are telling you what is likely to happen. We're not guaranteeing anything. We cannot say with 100% certainty, but we can indicate with a lot of confidence that chances are this is going to happen. And finally, if you do it often enough, you will build muscle memory. And muscle memory is an extraordinarily powerful thing. All you have to do is just when you look at something, it will sort of give you an idea. And lastly, invest in yourself before you invest in the market. Invest in learning, invest in education, invest in, take a course if you need to. If you want to learn about charting, there are enough courses on charting for, $10, $15 on places like Udemy and all. So just go and learn. Even InvestorAi, I would say, think of subscription as learning, because it is showing you something, it is teaching you something. And, you will make mistakes. But there's nothing wrong with that. That is part of the investment experience, because mistakes will teach you. Okay. So now let me stop sharing my screen and let me invite Apurv. Hi, Apurv. How are you? You're on mute.
Yeah. Hi, I'm good.
Good to have you. And just to introduce him, he's one of the young investors here. He is in some ways self-taught, which is always very interesting to me. I spoke to him about his previous experience. He has learned many things just out of interest and out of curiosity and so on. So in many ways, he exemplifies some of the good investment habits that I talked about. He's also been a regular user of InvestorAi. He's been posting comments, and some of his ideas have actually helped us become better. So, Apurv, just in 2 minutes, okay, tell me a little about what kind of investor are you? Are you a high risk taker? Are you a conservative guy? How do you decide? Kya invest karna hai, kya nahi karna?
Yeah. So, see, it can be clarified by just one statement by Mr. Radhakrishnan Damani, that he said that he earned 99% of his capital via investing, and to earn that 99 capital, that 1% he got from trading. So, like in the same way, I like while trading, I take risks, but with my investments, I am very cautious, and like all the analysis and everything I do properly. So, like since initially I started, I have to build some capital. So like I whatever profits and these things, I started investing. So in that type. So while investments, I am cautious and with long-term outlook, but with trading, I take the risk. Like I am a bit risk taker.
Okay, thank you. Secondly, how have you've been a regular user of InvestorAi for a while. How have you used it and how has it helped you or not helped you? So if it hasn't worked, also you should tell us.
Yeah. So see, first, basically, like many first thing is like what one of the before Investor AI, I was looking for actually some app or somewhere through which I can get knowledge about global investments, because many times if some certain company or certain thing perform globally, then their proxies in India, their similar companies or similar sectors are likely to get impacted. So like basically here what happens, I get those things. So not only it helps in Indian market, but also I'm learning also about global investments, because like after some point of time, this this diversification will be required. So like both learning wise as well as like for getting quick idea about certain sectors, which actually took like on Google, it is actually pretty difficult to get everything at one place kind of and trustworthy type, because many of the signals which for Indian markets which were generated are kind of similar type of ideas I was also able to get. So like I have developed a trust in the algorithm, and so this is how things are basically overall. It is giving me an ample opportunity
So
to explore.
have you made money on the signals from InvestorAI?
Yes, actually, like many of the signals, recently Tata Elxsi was there, then REC was there. So these signals, and then earlier, like many of the my current investments, like in Ajanta Pharma, there was a signal. So like for selling, basically, I wanted to sell. So, but then I got an insight that okay, I got an insight in Ajanta Pharma that the stock is about to, like, there is some upside. So then I said that okay, let's hold on. So it was around 6.8% something. And then after Ajanta Pharma, there was another stock like India Mart also. And basically in India Mart, actually what happened was I was comparing, due to some reasons, I was comparing peers basically in the play area, Amazon and other stocks. So basically I found somewhere similarities, and at that point of time, like I got an alert that okay, so the valuations as of now, it might basically get some cool down. So basically I sold India Mart, and like it came down, and now like for long term again have opportunities. So this is how basically I made and protected money.
Very good. That is, that is almost an ideal way of using much of the information that we give an investor here. Thank you very much, Apur. Please stay on the line, because once we get to question answers, I'm going to request you to stay on the panel. And if any questions come up that I feel you can most appropriately answer, I will request you to give your answer. Yeah. Thank you very much. Going back to what I was talking about, like I said, today, guys, is a back to basics session. Okay. So if you are familiar with the Ideas Corner page, this is what it is. We have value investing for buy and hold investors. We have Alpha 330 for momentum investors. We have swing trades for short-term investors. We have quarterly results. We have technicals and fundamentals. There's a lot of that stuff there. What we are going to, what I'm going to do is a very step-by-step deep dive into value investing, because I think that is a very important algo. It is sometimes well understood, many times slightly misunderstood. A lot of questions have come. So I thought today it would be worthwhile for me to talk for the next 10 minutes, 7-8 minutes, just going step by step into each component of this particular algo, so that you really understand all the power it has. We will do a similar session for Alpha 330. We will do a similar session for swing and other algos. But for today, back to basics, value investing. That's what it is. Okay, so the objective of the algo is to find you good companies that are undervalued. Okay, so there are three elements to this. One is it an undervalued company? Secondly, is it a good company? And thirdly, in the past, would it have made you money? So some kind of back testing. Okay, so these three things we feel are very important for you to know. And then what we actually do, we calculate all these details for every stock every single day. So you can imagine the huge amount of computing power that sits behind the value investing algo. But what you will see in this, I want to talk about 4 screens that even before you get to any particular insight. So when you first click on it, you will get a small description, a good time to buy. So it's basically telling you what the algo is doing and what it is trying to do. So this is a description. If you don't want to see it again, just click on don't show again and then it won't show. So, first time round is interesting, second time round, okay, slightly interesting, then it gets to be a pain in the ass. So then just click on don't show again, it won't come up. Then you will see the next page, the second page, which shows you 12 most recent algos that match your preferences. Now, some people have asked me, what is the color coding difference between red and white? So think of red as your inbox, where there are some messages that you have not yet seen. So the red ones are the insights you have not yet opened. So to use a little wordplay, red is your unread. Okay, I know it sounds funny, but it is actually correct. The white ones are the ones you have seen before. Now, just for future, we are working on a system to change the color coding logic. And because a lot of people have said, is the signal active today? Was it the old signal? And so on and so forth. So we are going to change the logic where the red tiles will represent the ones where signals are active, and white will be the signals were generated before, but not active at the moment. So, and that will change every day. So then it will become a slightly different logic. But for now, think of it as red and unread. Okay. Now, there is a more button at the bottom. If you press that, you will see more insights. And there could be 100, there could be 200. So this, you can keep pressing more and it becomes a really long list. Now, it's quite frustrating. So then we have given you a filtering and a sorting mechanism. If you click on that, it will say show me all, show me monitored, show me. So the show me is a filtering mechanism, and sort by is a sorting mechanism. So between filter and sort, you can actually narrow down the kind of things that you really want to see. And finally, there is the algo accuracy button, which then tells you how the algo is doing. So the 3 black tiles, the top one is showing you accuracy. And by the way, accuracy changes every day. Sometimes it is going to be high, like 87% is pretty fantastic. It could be 65% 3 weeks from now. This changes every day. We show it to you as it is. Okay, so because we want you to trust the algorithm, and only way I can generate trust is to show you the good news as well as the bad news. So sometimes when the algorithm is not doing well, the market conditions are difficult, it will have lower accuracy, but we will always show it to you. And the accuracy is in the last 90 days for all the insights generated and closed in the last 90 days. Then the second tile is the returns. So we take all the insights generated. We calculate the price on day 1. We calculate the price on day 90 because we keep the signal open for 90 days. And the price difference is the average return. In this case, 14.6%. So if you theoretically bought all insights, kept it for 90 days, sold on day 90, you would have made 15% in 90 days, which is not a bad return. And lastly, the third tile is number of ideas generated, number of signals generated in the last 90 days. So 193 ideas across all markets. So India may only be 55 out of this or whatever. So depending on which market you're looking at, that will be different. So these are some general, things that I wanted to say. Then you get to the 3 algo pages. Okay, and I know this thing looks a bit messy, but let me explain. So going from top to bottom, right at the top is the description of the company. I've taken a NASDAQ company, just for the sake of it. So this is a company called LKQ Corporation. Its trading symbol is LKQ, trading at $49.53 on the 11th of June. Okay, now there's one red tile, and red tile shows you what is active on the page. So let us just focus on that. So this is telling me the relative valuation of this company in the last 10 years. And today it is 16th percentile. Okay. Now, so we in the section a little below, which says how the valuation has changed. So we show you on the date the signal was generated, which was 9th of June, okay, which is 2 or 3 days ago. It was at the 16th percentile. It has moved only slightly, so it is still at the 16th percentile. Okay, but the price has gone up very slightly. It's a very, very new signal. Above that, you will see insight returns, and we calculate insight returns from the day the insight was created, so from the 9th of June. And on the right-hand side, you will see a question mark. You'll see the question mark in many places in the app. Wherever you click on it, it will show you what is happening on the page. Okay, and those are descriptions we will constantly keep refining, improving, and so on. Then in the last two sections, the second last from bottom, you will see a bell curve. That is the valuation chart. You'll see a dotted line which represents the 20th percentile. Anything to the left is undervalued. Anything to the right is not undervalued. I'm not saying it's overvalued. It is not undervalued. There's a difference. The signal gets created only if the valuation falls to the left of the dotted line. And then once we show you the signal, then we keep it open for 90 days. So it is possible, and there are many insights which were generated when they were 5th or 6th percentile. But today, 2 months later, if you see it, it's gone to the 40th percentile. So the price is really shot up. So that kind of difference can happen. And finally, we show you 1 year history of the price in the chart at the bottom. This is not the stock price of the company. This is the relative value of the company relative to the market. So in relative terms, has it gone up or has it gone down? Okay. So that's what is going on this page. Now, so this is what explains to you, is it an undervalued company? The next page is it a good company? So good company definition is it has to be good within its sector. So on the top, you're still seeing stock details, same as before. The red tile, the squared red tile, is sector rank. So we create a multi-factor rank, and we calculate it for every company in every sector, again, every day. Now, this LKQ Corporation is scoring 60 on the 61st percentile, so it's ahead of 61% of its peers. So this makes it a reasonably good company, not an extraordinary company, but medium. So we just put 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, 3 blocks, low, medium, high, and it sort of falls within the medium category. And again, there's a question mark. If you click on it, it'll show you what is going on this page. The multi-factor rank is actually a component of many factors. There are about 27 factors that we use. Some are related to capital structure. So what is the debt equity profile of the company, its ability to service debt, and so on. Then consensus view, which is we take every analyst who has reported on the company, we convert it to a numeric score, then we calculate an average, and then we rank a percentile. So the analysts like this company a lot. Okay, that should tell us something about it. Okay, so it's on the 77th percentile. The valuation is low, so it gets a high score on that. And future outlook, for some reason, is not very good, at 26th percentile. And future outlook is expected growth in EPS, earnings per share. So this is how we calculate the multi-factor rank. Now, the final page is backtesting. And again, it shows you backtesting details, and we'll cover that, question mark, as always. So firstly, it tells you the history. How many times has this happened in the past? So this is telling me that In the last 2 years, this company has fallen below the 20th percentile 4 times. Okay, that's very good. But once it fell, did it bounce back quickly? Okay, that is the mean reversion theory. For those of you who are familiar with statistics, what the mean reversion theory says that if a stock price moves away from the mean or the average, it will tend to bounce back because the long-term average is the long-term average. And the quicker the price bounce backs, the more money you stand to make. So this actually calculates the speed of the bounce back. And it is telling me that in 1 month, it didn't bounce back so quickly. But if I wait for 3 months, it gave me a 5% return, which is a 20% annualized return, which is again also, not bad. And in the last section, it shows me all the times when it happened, how the price moved over the 3-month period. And the thick red line is the average. Okay. And the others are, of course, shown as with dates. So this is really what this particular page is telling you. In addition, you should remember that the accuracy button is always there on the top. You can press it and then you will see the accuracy. There is a notification button here, which you can click. And the 4 squares is always the menu button, which takes you to the menu button. The final thing I want to show you is the trade at the bottom. There's a lot of stuff here, lots of useful tools. There is monitors, we can monitor the stock anytime. There's live info, which takes you to Google Finance. You can go to Play and compare this company with something else. You can share it on WhatsApp and email and text and things like that. But the most important button is the trade button. So if you want to buy this company, all you have to do is click on it. And we have a gateway that will connect you to, I think, 11 or 12 big brokers in India. And wherever you have an account with them, if you have an account with them, now if you have an account with somebody else, then that won't be possible. But if you have an account with any of those people, HDFC, Zerodha, IIFL, Edelweiss, etc., Kotak, you can directly trade. So all that is there available for you. The final thing, a lot of people keep asking me, what is the difference between InvestorAi and other sources of information? And like I said at the start of this session, other information providers tell you what has happened. InvestorAi tells you what is likely to happen. So all our signals should be considered as predictive signals. And as with all predictions, sometimes they're right, sometimes they're not right. So there is no guarantee of 100% accuracy. But we try and do as well as we can. We look at the algo all the time. We constantly look at accuracy levels. We constantly keep tuning. Sarthak and his team are very, very good at that. And they keep refining the accuracy. And that's why it stays that way. We have trained the algo for over 2 years. So somebody once asked me, can I do this on my own? I said, yes, of course you can. If you have the technology and the intellectual resources. But to train the algo to our level of accuracy will take you 2 years. So it's like taking a very, very bright child and saying that I will teach you mathematics and English and geography. We know it takes time. So that's how we have a trained algo here. Let me stop sharing this screen. I will share my phone screen with you because I wanted to show you some of the new features that are coming. And
while that's coming up, Akshay, so everyone, we've got our WhatsApp chat link because a lot of you asked us for it. Please go with what Prabal has posted. We have someone who has just come in and posted some other random group link that is not official and not from us. And I request people not to do that so that we can, keep this focused on AI and investing. And that's why we're all here and learning that. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Shruti. Yeah, please, stick to InvestorAi. What I don't want is, because many other things, we can't, vouch for any of them. So this is the new homepage. A lot of the changes are driven by the feedback we received on the user groups or directly. So right in the beginning, it's a getting started video. If you're familiar with the app, you don't need to see it. But if you're a first-time user or not so familiar, it is a very good way to understand how the app works. So it's about, I think, it's about 12 minutes or so. So it's not exactly 1 minute, but it's 12 minutes well spent. Okay. Then the next section is your profile. This is a very new section, and it basically shows you your usage. So it is telling me that I have 308 days to go for my subscription. I have 181 insights that I've seen in the last 30 days. I'm monitoring 14 stocks. My favorite sector is technology. I have used the app 24 times in the last 30 days. Time spent 22 minutes last week. Okay, so this is very simple, nothing earth-shaking, but this is our first baby step towards personalizing what you see, and you will see a lot of new things coming into this profile section over time. So please watch this section. Wisdom of the crowd you're familiar with. This is just what other people are looking at. So there are three categories. One is best performer, second is most viewed, and third is latest insight. And we break it up by market, we break it up by the algo, and depending on which market you're tracking, you will then get to see all of these things. So this is what you're familiar with. This is your watch list, or what you're actively monitoring. And again, we have changed the color to red. Whatever is red is personal to you. Whatever is gray is general. So these are all the stocks I'm monitoring. You will see that some have a white circle with a tick in it and some don't. So if I take, and I will explain. So audio codes, for instance, this is a stock I've been tracking since 4th of May. If I click on it, it shows there is a live insight. Okay, so the white circle with a tick is intended to show that there's a live insight on the stock. If I go to Infosys, there is a live insight on the stock. So I'm sorry, I think this is an old one. So because I was tracking it earlier, but as you go forward and you monitor more stocks, you will see that this is the logic we are using. The white tick indicates that there is no insight. Then there is the explore thing. We have made it much simpler, so you can watch demos, you can watch videos. It just takes you to the knowledge center, and you can pick any video you want. You can go to preferences. As you can see, there is a new active monitoring preference, which I will talk about in 1 second. And then you can change your subscription. There is one more section coming, which you will see next week, which I will show you. Now, the other thing, which I don't know if everybody has kind of worked it out, if I wanted to change how the order reads, you see the 3 dots on the right. If I click on that, it says move position. If I hold my finger on that and just move it, then so now suddenly this has moved to the top. So I can change the ordering of what I'm seeing quite easily. Okay. So that's one thing to bear in mind. So, I'm happy with this. I think it begins to, it makes it easier. We made the tiles a little bit smaller, hopefully not too small for you to read. So this is one thing that we're doing. The second thing we have done is let us monitor a stock. So if I go into active monitoring and I say I want to monitor, let me say Reliance. So let me take Bajaj Finance. Sorry, let me just take. So let me just take Tesco here. Okay. So now you will see a new feature which says set or reset limit for profit and loss alerts. So if I click on that, so now it tells me I can set a loss limit. So I can say, okay, alert me if the price goes down from 1%, and alert me also when the price goes up by more than 3%. Okay, so this becomes my limit for Tesco. So you can either use it for just one stock, or you can say that I had current price is 231. I had actually bought Tesco at £2. So I can say, okay, 200.00. So this becomes my alert price. Okay. And then you can say monitor now, and then it says, okay, you can monitor now. Okay, so if I go back to the home page and I sort of look at my watch list and I look at Tesco, this is what I started monitoring. So now you will see it is showing me a number of things. It is showing me the price chart. It is showing me some monitoring details. It's also now showing me how it is doing against my profit alert and loss alert limits. So my targets have not been met, so it's fine. There is no alert. There is a live insight on the stock, and there is no past insight on the stock. So this is a really useful feature that you can use. A lot of people have asked for something like this, so I'm glad that we are able to show you. And the last thing I want to show you is notifications. So when you go to notifications, there are these unread insights, and you can go to monitored stocks and ETFs, where you can see loss alert or profit alert if there is any. Okay, so these are 2 or 3 new things that have come in, and you will see a couple of more things coming in about a week's time. This is live on Apple, iOS, Android. It is in the process of going live, so either you should be seeing it already on your Android phone, or you will see it during the course of the day as Google rolls it out to different groups. Okay, so let me stop here. I will stop sharing my screen, and then let us take some questions.
Yes, Akshay, we've got quite a bit of questions. I'm going to, however, start with a comment Sriram made about today's presentation. He said, today's slides and content are very informative, will help everyone use InvestorAi properly. Much appreciated. Even though this has been covered earlier, today's depth and detail is refreshing. So he's...
Thank you, Sriram. Look, your comments are very valuable to us because you're such a thoughtful investor. You're such a regular on our webinars. And so you've really seen how things have developed. So thank you for that. We will do the same with other algos. We'll go into very, very great level of detail because I think that's quite useful. So thank you.
So Savan had a question. He had 2 actually. One is there a threshold in the number of users your platform can incorporate in your system before AI's edge becomes less sharp?
Okay, so first of all, there is no limit to number of users. We hope we'll have millions. Okay, but if millions buy the same thing, yes, GameStop will happen. But I don't think there are so many insights, Sarah. There are just so, there are hundreds. So you saw value investing, which had, I think, if I remember, 191 or 193. You go to Alpha 330, that has 500 insights. Then you go to ETF, that has 20, 30 insights. Then you go to swing trades, and there's just so many insights. The chances that everybody will go after 1 or 2 stocks and drive the price up, and it's unlikely, but it'll be fun if it happens. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
No one in the group will complain.
No one's going to complain, exactly. So
for sure. Okay, so Kunal has a bunch of questions, and Kunal's one of our, really active subscribers. So welcome, Kunal, to the webinar. Akshay has 5 questions, but I'm going to just take one which he has pointed out twice over here, which is he feels the accuracy for US market stocks he feels is higher than India. So do we want to comment on that?
I have a comment, and I'm going to ask Sarthak to add to it. Kunal, firstly, thank you so much for coming here. I know you're an active user. I see your name. I read that thing very regularly. I don't respond always. So thank you. We appreciate your engagement. We were having this discussion last week between Sarthak and Shailesh and myself, and we think US is not good enough. So we think US and UK accuracy levels can be improved, and we are working on tweaking them higher. So it's interesting for me to hear your perception that US is higher than India. But Sarthak, you're the boss man in all this, so tell us what your view is.
Yeah, so before I answer that question, guys, a lot of people have asked about how AI signals are generated, etc. Remember, it's a combination of fundamental, technicals, and momentum factors. And look, when you train a system for 10 years, you always have to incorporate latest data points. You have to rebalance and you have to change the parameters a little bit to understand what's happening in the market. Tell the system that abstraction, it can learn. So the thing is, India has been running around alpha. Let's take example of alpha 330. It's close to around 75, 80%. The thing is, a lot of people in the group have asked, yeah, this is very good, but if reduce the number of insights and find out ones that are more than 3, like 6%, 7%. We are happy to inform the latest patch that is going for Alpha 330 India, and it's going to be live in like maximum of 2 days. It was under production testing for 2 months. Is going to reduce the number of insights, not by considerable, by 20-25%, but the new patch that you're focusing on is looking at very active alpha, not just 3%, much higher. And again, that also is one of our backbones for one of our portfolio engines. I mean, that's coming again that you should be looking out for. In terms of the US and the UK, they've been running at around 70-71%. But right now, it requires a rebalance. The last month's performance wasn't as much as we had hoped for. So we are rebalancing that. The new algo is going to hit production around 30th June, around that time. So just bear with us.
Thanks, Arthur. So, by the way, it's not a new algo, it's just a newly tuned algo. So that's all. Yes, thank you.
Okay. So I think, Kunal, 1 or 2 more of your questions got answered in this. I'm just trying to see if others have answered. And Anurag, this is what you had also asked for. So Bendu has a question. How do you factor the emotions or sentiments in the market?
Yeah. So look, like I said, we use a lot of momentum and technical factors. So, and how do we do that? So essentially each of those technical patterns we test is a function, right? And based on that function, when we pass that function on the data, we get a score. Is it exhibiting that pattern or not? And then again, we find association with that pattern means a lot, because the same pattern could mean something in Reliance, but might not mean anything in Wipro. And again, I've been an investor for a long period of my life. And the problem is we start having this conformity bias, which the system doesn't. And I think that helps million times more when you actually get into trading, right?
Okay. Slightly longish question, another one from Sriram. Is there some possibility wherein those of us using the InvestorAi app can share their experience into a pre-formatted template? For example, which algo did they use? Value investing or Alpha 330 or swing trade? Which stock signal? What day from signal day did they enter? At what price? How long did they hold it? What returns did they generate? So I think he's getting to possibly not on the app, but some other community forum, probably on WhatsApp. So I think he's actually talking about, Akshay, what, I think we're talking about in terms of how do we, take this to a, another larger platform or even WhatsApp, but be able to say and do all these things.
Yeah. So, Sriram, this goes back to my earlier message. What are good investment habits? One of the good investment habits is just talking to people. And that is why we set up this WhatsApp community. Now, sometimes it sort of goes off on a tangent, so, but those sub groups में होता है, कभी-कभी, random चीज आ जाती है. But here, that is a great forum for people to share what has worked for them, what has not worked for them. So, remember, the signal is the signal. Yeah. It got generated. Now, whether you bought it, how much you bought, at what price you bought, at what price you sold, all those things matter whether you make money or not. And the returns and etc. that we show are simply arithmetical calculations from day A to day B, the distance between the two and the change in price. But in between, it has gone up and down many times. And some people could have made money, some people could not have made money. So you're right. The forum is the right place to discuss and share some of this information. we are looking for a longer term answer to, because WhatsApp now is getting to a point where it's a little unwieldy with more and more people. So we are thinking whether we should move to Telegram or whether we should move to one of the regular forum softwares and integrate that, so that you can have different conversation threads and things like that. So we're just researching this a little bit, and we will be introducing some changes going forward. And at that point in time, if there is value in a template kind of a thing, we'll gladly look at it. So, the idea is to make the whole experience useful and relevant for everyone who's using it. That's what we are after.
Okay, I'm taking one from Arvind. If you are able to connect all indices under Nifty, this would be helpful to track the segment wise. For example, last few months, mid-cap index doing good. And then he has a follow-up. He says, I believe algos can work for indices also.
Yes. See, the thing is, we have always thought of adding indices and all of that to our universe. But the problem, with indices is the only way you get exposure is through ETFs, or you have to buy a derivative. You need to buy a Nifty future or an option. And the thing is, when we're generating signal, we're generating at the end of the day. And with index trading, etc., you have to be very, very careful in terms of your entry point, exit points, etc. It's on the plans, but it is going to take some time. First, probably we'll have to get real-time prices, etc., factored in. We don't want to give out a substandard product, So that is why we are taking our time with it.
Yeah, actually, that is so, because I think we spend a lot of time debating, challenging each other, arguing internally as to, what is the best way to show it. And therefore, what comes out has been through very rigorous thinking and debate and discussion and review internally. Also, not just from a mathematical point of view, but from a compliance and, should we be showing something like that? So, so we go through a lot of thinking. The next one, which may help some of you in terms of these mid-cap comparisons and so on, is Sarthak made a reference to it. We are just waiting for regulatory approval from SEBI, as everything else is ready. The moment we have it, we will be launching what we are calling InvestorAi Follow the Machine. They are Follow the Machine portfolios. They are portfolios created from some of our best ideas from the algos, and which we then rebalance regularly. If you're familiar with small case, one click, you can buy the whole portfolio. One click, you can rebalance the whole portfolio. It's very, very simple. And I hope we will see you over there, once we launch it. But we'll, of course, tell you as soon as it happens. Shruti, I'm conscious of time.
Yeah. We have 2 minutes, Akshay. We have exactly 2 minutes. So what I'm just going to do is maybe just end on a question from, specific to value investing, the session. Purushottam, welcome back. Is one of our subscribers again. And his question is, how much does the back test really influence the forecast of value investing?
Sarthak?
Sorry, I just lost you in between. Can you just repeat the last?
Yeah. So Sarthak, he asked, how much does the back testing really influence the forecast of value investing?
Yeah, look, honestly speaking, it is very good when the markets are normal. Right now, we are in an extreme bull market. So for now, use that as a barometer, but not to decide on your investment. Because see, what happens is in bull market, everything goes up, right? Literally. And that time backtesting can get misleading. So if you're looking at backtesting, look at the number of instances and how it has bounced rather than make your decision on one instance, I would say. So that's the bare minimum. But eventually, once this market gets, flattened out and everything, again, backtesting will become a very important factor.
Great, thank you. So everyone, just very quickly, you can find us on the App Store and Play Store. InvestorAi is the app, because we see a lot of new people who came in today. You already have the chat link, the WhatsApp link. So, you could join us, and, the conversation actually continues there. There is a special discount for everyone who's attended this webinar. We have 10% off on our quarterly plan and 15% off on our annual plan. It is we're under 2,000 rupees, after the discount on our quarterly plan, and under 8,000 rupees on the annual plan. Prabal, if you can just get that slide up, but we hope to see you all soon. You can use that, but we have a 2-week free trial, and that's something that's just come in. A lot of people wrote into us, and we've actually enabled a 2-week free trial for anyone who actually downloads the app. This is your time to really explore the app, understand what it's about, all these different things we spoke about, and that's when we see a lot of people subscribing. And of course, Akshay spoke about the referral program. If you're a subscriber, you're anyways going to keep making money again on the number of people that you actually bring back to refer to InvestorAi. So here are the details, but I would start with just downloading our app, joining the WhatsApp community, because get into the free trial, and we are sure you will enjoy your experience with InvestorAi. So thank you so much, and hope to see you all next week, same time, 12:30 on a Saturday. We will be covering Alpha 330 in detail like today. So thank you, and see you all soon. Stay safe. Thank you.